Hi guys, I hope that you're all doing well. Today's lesson is about grade 10 exponents. Now before you start with this video, I'd recommend that you check out our grade 8 exponent lesson. I'll place the link to the video in the description and watch part 3. It says part 3, laws of exponents, law 1, same basis, add exponents. So the law, I believe that you guys just came from that video. When you have the same basis, let's say 2 to the power 2 times 2 to the power 3. 2 and 2 are your bases, okay? And this 2 and that 3 are your exponents. So you have 2 here and 2, which means you have the same base. And you have a multiplication sign in between. So you write down your base, which is 2, right? Then you add your exponents, 2 and 3. So we'll say 2 plus 3. Your answer will be 2 to the power. 2 plus 3 is 5. This also applies when dealing with variables. Okay, this example is about your values or your numbers. If you have, let's say, y to the power 3 times y to the power, let's just say y. To solve this, you have to check if you have the same base. You have y and y, you have the same base, so we may write down our base. Then we have 3, and this is obviously y to the power 1. There's an invisible one that we don't write. However, when you deal with exponents, please recognize that one. This will be 3 plus 1, okay? 3 plus 1, your answer will be y to the power 4. So the addition rule or law 1 states that same basis multiplied add their exponents. Again, please go and watch the grade 8 video. It's part 3, okay? You'll find the playlist on our channel. You can just check out the description as I do a lot of these examples so you get the hang of the first rule under exponents. Now let's try 2x squared y cubed times 4x squared times, actually 4x squared y, excuse me. So we follow the same rules that you guys saw in the grade 8 examples. I believe that you guys just came from that video as I try different examples to show you the first law of exponent. So the difference in grade 10 is that we have values or coefficients. When we solve, we start with the coefficients. So we'll say, what are our coefficients here? We have 2 and 4, okay? We start with the values 2 times 4. You can just do our calculations on the side. 2 times 4 is equal to 8. So you write down your 8 here. Now let's move to our variables. Your variables are your letters, okay? We don't call them letters or alphabets in mathematics. We have x squared and x squared. We have y cubed and y. Let's start with x squared. X squared, this dot stands for times, okay? X squared. So do we have the same base? Yes, x and x. Are they multiplied? You have the multiplication sign, yes. So we may write down our base, which is x. What do? We add our exponents. We'll say 2 plus 2. We have x to the power 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. So you write down your x to the power 4 here. Okay, you're done with the y. Let's move to the other variables. We are done with x, we're moving to y. So we have y to the power 3 or y cubed times y. Okay, do you have the same base? You have y and y. Yes. So you write down our base. Let's move to our exponents. You have 3 and an invisible 1. So we'll say 3 plus 1, which is y to the power 4. So you write down your y to the power 4 here. Your final answer is 8x to the power 4, y to the power 4. So we still use the same law that we learned in grade 8. However, in this case, we have coefficients that we have to consider. Now let's try 3a to the power 4 times b to the power 2. Excuse me, you have 3a to the power 4 b squared times 2a cubed b to the power 5. Right? What's the first step? We start with our coefficients or our values. We'll say 3 times 2, which is 6. We write our 6 here. Okay? on our side, we do our calculations, and here we write our final answer so that it doesn't get kind of messy. We have a to the power 4 and a cubed. A to the power 4 times a cubed. Do we have the same base? You have a and a. Yes. Are they multiplied? You have a multiplication sign. So you write down our base. You'll say 4 plus 3, which is a to the power 7. You're done with the variable a. Let's write our final answer, a to the power 7. Let's move to b. We have b squared times b to the power 5. Do we have the same base? We have b and b. Yes. Are they multiplied? We have a multiplication sign. So yes. Then what's the next step? You write down your base. Now let's add our exponents. You have 2 plus 5. Your final answer is b to the power 7. So you write b to the power 7 here. Let's try the third example. Let's do negative x squared y squared times negative 2x cubed y squared. We start with our values, right? We have, this is basically negative 1, okay, and negative 2. Let's write our values on the side. We'll say negative 1 times negative 2. So I want you guys to know something. In mathematics, when you multiply a negative with a negative, you always get a positive answer. And when you multiply a positive with a negative, you always get a negative answer. When you multiply a negative with a positive, you always get a negative answer. And if you multiply a positive with a positive, you always get a positive answer. However, if you have a calculator, you'll always get the right answer. So when you punch anything that has to do with a negative number in math, please make sure that you put it in a bracket. That is why I said negative 1 times negative 2. All my negatives are in a bracket. So negative 1 times negative 2, when you punch it in a calculator, you'll get a positive 2. So this will be 2. We're done with the values. Let's move to our variables. We have x squared and x cubed, right? We have x squared times x cubed. Do you have the same base? You have x and x. Yes. So this will be x. Let's write our exponents. 2 plus 3, as there's a multiplication sign. So this is x. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now let's write down our 5 there. Let's move to the other variables. We have y and y. Y squared times y squared. How do we solve this? Let's check. Do we have the same base? Y and y. Yes. So you write down our base. You have 2 and 2, which is 2 plus 2. Your answer will be y to the power 4. Y to the power 4. So even though there's a minus sign here, you have to start with the values. Okay, this isn't negative x squared y cubed, negative x squared y squared minus 2x squared y squared. You have to make sure that you multiply the values first. Let's try x cubed y squared times 3y x to the power 4. How do we solve this? We start with our values. On the side, this is basically 1. We'll say 1 times 3, which is 3. So you write down our 3 here. Okay, just know that there's always an invisible 1 there. So when you deal with exponents, please make sure that you write down your invisible 1, whether it's a coefficient or a variable. For example, if you just have x, you know that it's x to the power 1. So please recognize that 1. Now let's move to our variables. We have x, we have y there. Let's choose x. Okay, so that our rule applies, same basis at exponents. So choose the same basis if they are available. So you have x cubed and x to the power 4. X cubed times x to the power 4. Do we have the same base? Yes. So you write down our base, which is x. What's the next step? Add exponents. This is 3 plus 4, right? This will be x to the power 7. So you write down our x to the power 7 there. We are done with x. Now let's move to y. We have y squared and y. Y squared times y. Do we have the same base? Yes, we have y and y. So you write down our y. We have 2 and 1. That's an invisible 1. So this is 2 plus 1. Your final answer is y to the power 3. Y to the power 3. That is your final answer. Now let's try the last example. Let's try negative 8x to the power negative 2 y to the power 4 times 2x cubed y to the power 12. What's the first step? We start with our values. We'll say negative 8 times 2, which is negative 16. So you write your negative 16 here. Let's move to our variables. We have x and x. So this is x to the power negative 2. Don't mind the negative, just follow the rule that you learned. X to the power negative 2 times x to the power 3. Do we have the same base? Yes, we have x and x. So this is x. Do we have the same? Now what's the next step? Excuse me. You add your exponents. This will be negative 2 plus 3, which is x. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. So you can just say negative 16x instead of x to the power 1. Okay, now let's move to y. We have y to the power 4 and y to the power 12. Y to the power 4 times y to the power 12. Do we have the same base? We have y and y. Are they multiplied? We have x. We have the multiplication sign. Yes, so you write down our base, which is y. Now let's add our exponents. 4 plus 12. The final answer is y to the power 16. So this is y to the power 16. The final answer is negative 16x y to the power 16. You may also show these steps in your exams just to prove your workings. And that is the addition rule in grade 10 exponents. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.